What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Razy Podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. So today, guys, I want to speak to you about Oleksandr Usyk versus Tyson Fury, the rematch. Supposedly, this fight is going to happen on December of this year. But hopefully they don't really uh, actually push it back a little or anything like that. So I'm gonna go over just like a few tweets that I found on Twitter, and I believe they're important, so y'all can understand. There's a tweet that I saw of Michael Benson. He said Oleksandr Usyk has rated his UK opponents. The actual platform that interviewed Oleksandr Usyk was Boxing King Media. So that's the actual people who gave him the questions, and Oleksandr Usyk answered. So here he mentioned the hardest puncher that Oleksandr Usyk has fought was Derek Chisora. To be honest, when he fought Derek Chisora, I did see him kind of struggle against him. Like he actually did took his punches, and it really did seem like he was kind of a hard fight for him in a way. But then he was able to connect his punches against Derek Chisora, and that's why Derek Chisora couldn't really do nothing much more to him. He only had power, but Usyk had the skill set to beat Chisora. Yeah, if you do look back on that match, that was like one of his very first heavyweight fights, to be honest. So I'm guessing he was just trying to get used to fighting these guys, and that's why he fought Derek Chisora. And now for the who's the quickest, Tony Bellew. I really don't know who's Tony Bellew, but it's not Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, he's definitely not the quickest fighter. He's probably the tallest fighter he has fought by far. But yeah, Tony Bellew was the quickest one. The best defense, hear me out. The best defense, Oleksandr Usyk named Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury does have good defense, but I see Tyson Fury more as a skilled fighter. Like he's very technical on his punches. But him naming that Tyson Fury has good defense, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for Tyson Fury. And now it says right here the best footwork. Again, Tony Bellew. Really have no idea who Tony Bellew is, but he did turn out to be the quickest and also the best footwork. That's what Oleksandr Usyk mentioned. And now the next one, the best boxing IQ. The best boxing IQ, Oleksandr Usyk mentioned Tyson Fury again. Like I said, Tyson Fury has good skills. He's just very technical, and maybe he doesn't have the best punches, but he's a very technical fighter, and he felt like he met his match when they fought each other in the very first match, Usyk. Now the easiest fight. If you're a fan of this person, I'm sorry, but Usyk didn't name him. The person that Usyk thought that it was the easiest fight for him was Joe Joyce. I remember seeing just like highlights of Joe Joyce losing to Zhang. He actually lost to him twice in a row. And a lot of people thought that Joe Joyce was going to defeat Zhang, the Chinese boxer. They thought that he was going to win just by points. But no, Zhang actually KO'd him, I think maybe more earlier than the very first fight. Yeah. Joe Joyce was no match against Zhang. And that guy, Zhang, he actually fought against Deontay Wilder. I thought Deontay Wilder was going to beat him, to be honest, but no. That's been the last fight that Deontay Wilder has had for a couple of months. And I'm not even sure if he's going to come back or not. And for the last one, his hardest fight, guess who he mentioned? Oleksandr Usyk mentioned that Tyson Fury was his hardest fight. And to be honest, I do agree. I do agree that Tyson Fury, he's a one hell of a fighter. And he's a very tall guy. So he did mention that he had the best defense, the best boxing IQ, and it was the hardest fight that he has had for Usyk. If Tyson Fury did not showboat at all on the very first fight, I think he would have beaten Usyk. But since he tried to show off and try to please the crowd, I think that's what that was his downfall. On the next fight they're gonna have, Tyson Fury is gonna be all business. To be honest, this is gonna be a one hell of a fight, man. I cannot wait for the freaking rematch. Watch, man, watch. Tyson Fury is gonna win. This is gonna be a good fight. Both of them have great boxing IQs, but I think like Tyson Fury is just better. Without the showboating on the rematch, I think he's gonna do better, way better than ever before. He already came in like all prepared for the very first fight, but just the showboating. Showboating is good if you're Muhammad Ali, but you're not at that level yet, Tyson. If you can beat Oleksandr Usyk and maybe Anthony Joshua, then yes, you can call yourself the greatest heavyweight boxer of this generation. But you have to beat Usyk, man. Usyk is the guy to beat. And I think he can. I think he can do it. The next fight is going to be all strictly business. I do believe that he can beat him. And now I want to move forward with Canelo Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez is going to defend his undisputed WBA, WBC, the IBF, and WBO super middleweight titles versus Edgar Berlanga on September 14th in Las Vegas. So I searched up who Edgar Berlanga. He's a guy who is representing Puerto Rico, and he's American. His win record is 22 wins, 0 losses, and 0 draws. His KO ratio, he has 17 KOs out of 22 wins. 77% KO ratio. That's pretty good, man. But who has he fought? Edgar Berlanga. I have never really heard of this guy before, and I'm not really sure of the fighters that he has fought. Yeah, I'm looking into his boxing record to see if any of the names come up, any well-known names come up, and to be honest, I really do not know. I really do not know mostly these guys. Just Saul Alvarez. And Canelo Alvarez, he has 61 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. Those 2 losses came from Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol. But I really have no idea how Edgar Berlanga actually fights. But hopefully it does give him a good fight. Like I remember when Canelo Alvarez, he fought against Jaime Munguia. The guy was undefeated, right? And he was giving him a good fight. But then when he dropped him, he kind of felt like he was about to lose the fight, and he did. Jaime Munguia was giving him a good fight, but like after that knockdown, he did lose his motivation. Yeah. But let's see how this guy actually does. Edgar Berlanga, that's his name. He's American and he representing Puerto Rico. So that's cool. That's awesome for him. I noticed that Canelo always fights now on Cinco de Mayo weekend and also on September 14th. Because I think that's like the Independence Day for Mexico, I believe. Well, he's like basically the main guy right now in boxing. He has had all the titles and a lot of good divisions and a lot of competitive divisions as well. He has defeated so many unbeaten boxers before. I think this probably could be his 9th win. His 9th win against an undefeated boxer. Yeah, over the course of his career, he has beaten a lot of good boxers that have been undefeated. So let's see how he does against Edgar Berlanga. And now, moving forward, guys, I want to speak to you about a new bundle that just came out for Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. If you do have these platforms, they actually came out with a new bundle. So look, I'm gonna tell y'all. The Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max streaming bundle has been launched. It is priced at a discount of up to 38%. If you want to get the one with ads, it costs $16.99 per month. And the one without ads, it costs $29.99 without ads. I think that's a good deal. You're just paying $10 for each streaming platform without ads. Like I pay $17 a month for just only Max itself. I'm not really sure how much Disney Plus is because I did actually stop paying for it because to be honest, like Disney Plus is just mostly like for nostalgia purposes only. And I actually got out of that phase now. Like I remember when I actually bought it like around the COVID time. I was like watching a lot of nostalgia movies and even TV shows, and actually got out of that stage now. Hulu, I had it before. I mean, actually, my brother did have it before, but um, I just probably prefer to stick to Max, to be honest. Max has a lot of good things to see, and especially Game of Thrones and The Last of Us. House of the Dragon is coming out as well on Max. But to be honest, this season for House of the Dragon is like pretty slow. I really have no idea why. Why they're waiting so long to actually show the good scenes. There's not that much action shown on this season. Like I feel like the first season it just had better action than the second one. Like this one is a lot of talking. Like all the dialogue is important, but you gotta show at least a lot more action to keep the audience entertained. And like the dialogue for season two, it's not really entertaining. So yeah, Max. That's the only choice I will only take. And the last thing I want to talk to you about, guys, is about the Deadpool versus Wolverine movie. Deadpool versus Wolverine has now made over $100 million at the worldwide box office. And it's just barely Friday at the time I'm recording this podcast. It's crazy, man. It hasn't even been a week, not even 4 days. And it has made a ton of money already. You could probably even make over $1 billion in like less than a month. You could probably, man. I can't wait to actually go see the movie. I'm actually gonna go see it tomorrow on Saturday, and hopefully have a great time watching the movie. Let's actually see what the people are saying of this movie. Are they actually liking it? I'm gonna check out the score on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, it seems like it's a good rating. So the critics actually gave this movie an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh snap! And the audience score, guys, it's 97%. I did enjoy the first movie more than the second one for Deadpool, and like for X-Men, I do mostly enjoy most of those movies, and even the spin-offs that Wolverine has had by himself, they are pretty good movies. And just like bringing these two together, I think that was a good idea. It was somewhat random, but I think it could probably work. Just by the audience alone, that record, a 97% by the audience, people are enjoying the hell out of this movie. And I may enjoy this movie as well. Just if you have not seen it yet, try to avoid the spoilers because people that I know, they already got spoiled. Do not click on YouTube thumbnails that have Deadpool or Wolverine on it, or just avoid posts that on social media that had to do with them as well, because if you read the comments has had by himself, they are pretty good movies. And just like bringing these two together, I think that was a good idea. It was somewhat random, but I think it could probably work just by the audience alone. That record, a 97% by the audience, people are enjoying the hell out of this movie, and I may enjoy this movie as well. Just if you have not seen it yet, try to avoid the spoilers, because people that I know, they already got spoiled. Do not click on YouTube thumbnails that have Deadpool or Wolverine on it, or just avoid posts that on social media that had to do with them as well, because if you read the comments, people are spoiling the movie already. Yeah, that's like the thing that you have to avoid with these big movies. You gotta avoid these spoilers, because you don't want to get spoiled. You want to be surprised on what you're gonna see on the film. And I'm just hanging in there, man. I'm just hanging in there until tomorrow night. I'm gonna go see the movie. I'm gonna check it out, and probably I'm gonna tell y'all how it was on the next podcast. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you guys did made it this far, make sure to actually follow this podcast on whichever platform you are listening to it. If you are listening to it on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, make sure to follow it, and also recommend this podcast to a friend or a neighbor that actually likes listening to stuff about combat sports or pop culture. Maybe they will enjoy this podcast as much as you do. And yeah, guys, that is it for this podcast. Again, thank you so much for listening. Take care and live to the fullest. Bye.